My name is Joyce Smith. Thanks for the GOP for hosting this forum this evening. And I've lived in Jefferson County for 30 plus years and have had 2 children go through the school system. And my daughter is a teacher, still in the school system. I worked for Jefferson County Schools for 10 years. And then I served as a bus driver and a substitute teacher in Berkeley County. So I have some experience in the different facets of the school system, not all of it, but part of it. And my concern, I think, is that I've heard the same thing for 30 years about teacher retention, service personnel retention, transparency, nutrition, special ed IEPs, not being fulfilled, and bar the fact that my daughter, when she was in school, Jefferson High was overcrowded at that point, and we did build more schools. But I'm just concerned about the continued complaints over the last 30 years. And when elected on May 10th, I would like to work with the parents and the citizens and hear all of their opinions. I know the pandemic has been difficult. That's something that is unprecedented. We haven't faced anything like that before. But I am concerned that there are parents that their concerns weren't addressed and seem to be ignored as far as mask mandates and the testing. So I would like to see how that could be done better and listen to the parents. So if you agree with me, I'd appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Carmen Taylor Bratson. I am the wife of Jerry Bratson. We've been married for 30 years. I am the mother of Michael Bratson, who attended Jefferson County Schools for 9 years. He's now grown, and he has a daughter, who's my granddaughter, Mila Bratson, who will come through Jefferson County Schools in just a few years. And I also have a son named Malik Bratson, and he attended Jefferson County Schools for 1 year. I was born and raised in Jefferson County. I graduated from Jefferson High School in 1986. I am the daughter of Gene and Dot Taylor. I am the granddaughter of, yes, guess what, Dot Taylor, a whole different Dot Taylor, who my mother worked for Jefferson County Schools for 20 years. My grandmother worked for Jefferson County Schools for over a decade before her death. My brother, Gene Taylor, he is actually city councilman for Branson. Just a little background on my family. Now, the reason why I'm running for the board, and you all excuse me, I am breathing because this is my first time. So I'm running for the board to bring back the grow and glow along with the unity in our community. I want to work with the students, staff, and parents to develop champions for life. Our Jefferson County students and our schools deserve nothing less than excellence. So please vote for me, Carmen Taylor Bratton, on May the 10th. Thank you.
So I'm going to stand for as long as possible. If I fall over, please don't be alarmed. My name is Barbara Fuller, and if I am elected as your Board of Education member, I promise to bring fiscal responsibility. I will propose to scale back our board office and direct those funds directly to our teachers and our students. It seems that every meeting that I watch, either Zoom or in person, there's a new board member, a new board office personnel being assigned. And our funds should be going back to our teachers and our children in our schools. I plan to be an advocate for special needs children. I know how hard it is for parents to navigate an IEP. I've had to do it and I've had to fight, and we need someone that can help parents get the services that they need for their children. I know that there are people in the county that are trained for it right now, And from the last thing that I heard was that they were going to be installing these people, but one of the women that I know that took the classes has not yet been contacted. And people still have issues gaining IEPs for their children. I would really like to return the power to our parents. I think that all parents should be able to see their child's curriculum, not just get what is supposed to be on, not just only to see what they're supposed to be learning, but to see their lessons. Because I am all too aware, my daughter is in high school, and was learning civics and received a horrible placeholder because she had no teacher, and it didn't make sense. It was a crossword that the answers were no way possibly attemptable. So I contacted the principal, and she said that she would make sure that they do not pull things off the internet anymore. I fully support teachers and service personnel, because you have to realize that these people are the backbone of the school. They are what make everything run. You have your board office, and they dictate what goes on, but those schools don't run without your service personnel and your teachers. I would also fully support extracurricular activities, because those activities are what mold our children. It's not just going to school. It's also participating in sports. It's participating in theater, dance, cheerleading, anything that you can think of, because these children not just need to learn, but they also need to be able to socialize and have other people that are like them, so more children. And I will promise to continue to promote anti-bullying. One of my children was constantly bullied, and it's horrible. It's a horrible feeling to go into school and know that there is a child or an adult, I'm not saying a teacher, I'm just saying that there's someone there that is just going to be in your face, and it needs to stop. And I don't think that when a parent reaches out to a principal, it should stop there. It shouldn't have to escalate to the board. And so I would appreciate everybody, if you like what I have to say, and you come out and vote on May 10th, or if you vote early, please give me a check in the box. Thank you.
Hi everybody, my name is Andrea Elliott. I apologize, I am not prepared as I should be tonight because I didn't recognize that the forum was going to be held tonight. So I apologize. I have a master's degree in social work. So I come from a mental health kind of field. And over the pandemic, I really started to recognize that mental health issues and physical health issues were just escalating with all of the children as well as their parents. They have been thrust into this, not only they're disciplinarians, they're now teachers, they're this, they're that, and everything at one time, while their financial stability was just going down the tubes. So this is all collective. I'm kind of a family children and family therapist in the state of Maryland at this point. So all of my sessions were done virtually. So this is where I got to see all of it just kind of caving. And that's when I decided to sign up for the Board of Education, because not only do I want to see our policies written a little bit differently, but the way that we move them through the school system. So we're not separating children, we're not isolating children, that they can see each other face to face, that they can love each other, they can build these relationships in school and have normal relationships, because they have not had a normal school year. 2 years. I have a little boy across the street who failed kindergarten. He barely speaks. So that's how kids learn, is they watch your mouth move, they watch what you're saying, they pick up the syllables, they pick up sentences, they pick up your mood. You cover your face, they know nothing. They stop to talk, they stop talking. So So now we have situations where we are now going to be dealing with the after effect of the pandemic for years to come. And I think it's time that parents and teachers and principals and everybody kind of come together and figure out a way to resolve the issue, because it's happening. Kids are struggling right now. They're in school, they're struggling, absolutely struggling. I mean, they might be face to face, but then they're worried about that 5-day quarantine as soon as they have a sniffle. Well, basic biology doesn't even make sense anymore. So this is what I kind of bring to the table, is just this understanding of mental health and how the decisions that we are making affect these children. Whether it be elementary, middle school, or high school, doesn't matter. May 10th, Andrea Elliott.
As we started, this side went down, we'll start with you, Andrea, and we'll work back this way. The first question of this evening is, do you support charter schools?
Yes, I do.
All right.
The school choice, absolutely agree. Parents have the choice. Parents know their children best. And they know the teacher them, and you know, in school, they know their children. So yes, that's a decision, absolutely.
I most certainly do, except I think that there should be also school of choice, whether it be charter, public, private, homeschool. There is, as Andrea said, there is no other judge for your child than your parental units. And if your child doesn't fit in the box that a public school promotes, by all means, take them out.
And I agree as well to support charter schools, I support public schools and private schools. Like Barbara just said, I believe that, you know, if your child doesn't fit, then wherever that child fits in, whatever is best for their education, that's what you should do. So,
Same here. We have cultural diversity everywhere else. You know, like you said, you need to see your own child. I had to make that choice. My daughter breezed through public school. My son, no, good time child. So when he hit high school, or actually middle school, we had to sacrifice a few things because there weren't charter schools and I wasn't going to homeschool, so we sent him to private school. But then he went back in high school and graduated from Johnson. So yeah, definitely. You know your child, and you know what you need to do, and you would have that choice.
I actually do support charter schools as well. I don't think any time you offer choice, it does anything but make the public schools work harder to be better. I don't think there's a problem with competition. In the state of West Virginia, of course, the West Virginia Department of Education runs the school systems. And that can be sometimes difficult, right? Because it's a centralized body that actually runs the school and tells us what to do. The difficulty is then you don't get to choose your students. If the child wants to go to a private school, you have a charter school, you know, you can choose who you want to let in and who you don't. For some of my kids, that would have been a great option because they also were very high flyer students who frankly probably could have gotten even more if they had more opportunities than the public school could offer them. So I think that being able to allow those types of choices is going to do nothing but grow and better public education as well as some of those other options. So I don't think you should be afraid of the options at all. I would like to continue to have more freedom in public education as well, to develop some of those same types of ideologies within the local school body. But that's actually, in my personal opinion, I feel like watching some of the decisions the Republican legislature has made is in a sense trying to do that, right? It's almost like you have to break something down before you can build it back up. And there's a lot of power grabbing and control that goes on in Charleston. So this is kind of a way to do that, right? You open those floodgates and you let those things happen. Hopefully then there will be some good ideas and some great things come from it. And we'll be able to implement some of those things in a public school domain as well. Obviously, all four of my kids have been all publicly school educated. And I don't have a problem if they weren't. I just frankly didn't want to spend any more money and didn't have it. And wasn't a person I felt that was equipped very well to homeschool. So, they've all been very successful so far within the public education system, but no, I'm not afraid of the competition, and I think it's a good thing, because some students need it.
If you don't mind, I'm gonna stand up when I speak because I know my voice does not carry very well. So, my answer is a little bit different. I'm a lot more hesitant about private charter schools just because of the fact that children's education should not be a money-making thing. Now, public charter schools, I'm all for that. I mean, we have a charter school almost with James Rumsey. It's children going to a different type of public school for a different type of education. There, they're learning, to be an electrician, to be a mason, to be a computer thing, to be an engineer. I mean, just different study than your traditional high school. I would be 110% in support of a public charter school for the arts. If we had kids that were interested in art or graphic design or dance, or a public charter school for math and science. Something that's different than a traditional public school, but it would definitely be a, public charter school.
Thank you. We'll start with Kathy on next score. Next meeting, keep standing. What would be the solution to fixing morale, students and parents?
I think as a planet right now, our morale has been hit pretty hard with the pandemic. There's no doubt that has hurt our mental health for children, for adults, for society. If the pandemic were to go away, I think that would definitely be a start right there. As a school system, one thing that we're doing to help is we've created a social emotional support department, and that's something that has been, they've presented nationally, and it really is a program to be very proud of as a county. It's something that no other county in the state has. Beyond the pandemic morale, I think people are just beat down right now. I mean, our staff, they are just going above and beyond what they're supposed to be doing. But, I think once things get back to the old normal,